They hooked him in calculus class. Started slow, didn't want it to be too obvious. Gave him a little trig review, some functional notation, and then introduced limits. Gave him a lot of problems to work, kept him busy to get his guard down. Then, pow, hit him with the concept of the derivative, the raw power and simplicity of the idea. It was overwhelming. How could he resist? Who can? I know. I've been through it myself. Yes, that's right. I was one of them once. I was a slave to mathematics. But unlike most, I escaped, and now my life is dedicated to helping others who were not as fortunate as I. In this particular case, I was hired by the parents of one Lawrence Desinetz. One minute, Larry was pre-med, heading for a lucrative plastic surgery career in Cherry Hill, and the next minute he was talking about earning a PhD in mathematics. All thought of financial gain went out the window. His parents were horrified. Dreams of my son, the doctor, turned into nightmares of my son, the itinerant mathematician. But me, I wasn't surprised when I heard the tale. I've heard it 100 times before. Believe it or not, 1,900 people a year get PhDs in mathematics in the United States alone. That sounds incredible, but I understand why. I know the seductive power of a beautiful proof, the appeal of a well-turned lemma. Larry had fallen prey in the usual manner. After hearing the derivative explained in a lecture hall with 300 students, he went to see the professor during office hours. That's when they know they have you. You're one of the susceptible ones, looking for some meaning beyond the plug-and-chug problems. A little chit-chat, maybe notational, a bit of history, Newton versus Leibniz, that sort of thing, all seeming innocuous. And then when he least expected it, the epsilon delta definition of the world. The poor guy was putty in the professor's hands. Before he could get his head back on straight, the professor invited him to the department colloquium, followed by tea. Larry dutifully went, and although he was blown out of the water by the material, he saw the others there in rapt attention, lapping up the mathematical morsels. At tea, the department members ignored Larry, feigning indifference to the freshman who was interested in math, pretending they were too wrapped up in their own research to care. But oh, if he only knew they were watching his every move, as they pretended to scribble on the blackboard and talk about this theorem or that with their colleagues. He was a marked man, and Larry didn't even know it. Now, in cases like this, there is a small window of opportunity, a short period when a student can yet be saved. But you must act fast. Once the student takes real analysis and abstract algebra, their fate is sealed. The window has been slammed, shut, and shuttered. But his parents had called me in time. Larry was taking linear algebra, the applied version. There was hope yet. I found him in the cafeteria with an untouched plate of tuna casserole and a copy of The Man Who Loved Numbers open in front of him. I gave him my winningest smile. Kurdish, huh? Mind if I join you?
Okay.
So you like math, do you?
Oh yes, it's beautiful.
Yes, it does have an appeal.
Have you ever seen the argument for the uncountability of the reals? It's really cool.
The bubbly excitement, the glassy bright eyes, oh, he was a need. We talked math for a while, I played along, Euclid this, Euler that, and then I laid the trap. Hey, my roommate and I are having a birthday celebration for Carl Friedrich Gauss on Wednesday.
Really? Really? That sounds great.
Of course he was thrilled. Susceptible and trusting are two descriptions of the same attribute. He showed up right on time. It hadn't taken him long to pick up that characteristic of a mathematician.
Knock, knock, knock.
Yeah, come on in.
Wait, what's going on here? Mom? Dad? Aunt Clara? Evan? Julia, what are you doing here? This isn't a birthday party for Gauss.
No, it's not. Gauss was born in April. This is an intervention, Larry. These are people who love you and they're here to help.
Open it. Let me go.
Nope, not until you hear what we have to say. He looked like Galois after the duel. Blood drained from his face. Must have been wondering where his muse was now.
Punch Bunchkins, have you thought about us? We love you, Pinchy, but good gracious, what would the neighbors say? Mrs. Crawley would just revel in the news. Our son, a math... I can't even say it.
Lawrence, look at your mother. Look what you're doing to her. She can't even say a word.
My poor sister. Larry, I can't believe you would do this. You seem like you were a good kid. You used to watch television. You had a lemonade stand. What happened to you? My kids would never do this. Evan here. Now he's a dentist, aren't you, Evan? And Sybil works in marketing for an ad agency, and I am so proud of them both.
Well, like, what about Karen?
How dare you mention her name in my presence?
Karen got a master's degree in statistics.
Not my area, but I sympathize.
Listen, Larry, the problem is it's not cool to do math. Business degrees, they're cool. You know, internet startups and all. Theater degrees, that's cool. Wear black clothes and talk about Pinter. But math? That's not cool. Nothing is cool unless everyone's doing it.
Look, you just don't understand. I don't have a choice. It's not like I'm choosing to do mathematics. Math has chosen me. When I saw that epsilon delta definition of a limit, it's like I'd known it all my life. Here's what the professor was really talking about when she drew all those pictures. This is a rigorous definition. It felt so good. It's just not up to me anymore.
Look, Larry, do you want this to be you? I showed him pictures of mathematicians, the addicts, with their white pallor from sitting under fluorescent lights for years at a time. Some were barely able to lift their eyes from the books in front of them as the camera clicked away. Their clothes, stained with coffee, made it clear they were unaware that fashion was an evolving concept. But he was unmoved.
That's exactly what I want to be.
Okay, Larry, I have no choice anymore. Hold him down.
What? No!
I kept him in front of the computer for 2 weeks. Mostly reruns of the Jersey Shore and Keeping Up with the Kardashians. By the time we were done, spittle drooled from the side of his mouth. His brain had been washed clean. Unfortunately, it had been washed so clean that medical school was no longer an option. But Larry did go on to a successful career with 7-Eleven, primarily mopping up the slushy spills at the Cherry Hill store. And I know that he's happier for it. But Larry's story is just one story among many. These dangers are real. Do you know where your children are? Are you sure they're watching TV? Or texting their friends? Or surfing the web? And not sitting in on a seminar or leafing through a math text? If we're vigilant, we can prevent mathematics from spreading further. But we will need to fight the minions of mathematics at every turn. We will need the entertainment industry to hype style over intellectual curiosity. We will need to inundate children with the belief that being good at math is something to be ashamed of. We will need